class. Today we're going to multiply polynomials. First off, we're going to start by multiplying a polynomial by a monomial. Hopefully by now we realize that a polynomial can be any multiples of how many terms that we have. Again, we can have one term, which is a monomial, two terms, which is a binomial, three terms, which is a trinomial, and anything more than three, again, we call as a polynomial. So, to start off today, we are going to look at this first example, and we have a monomial, one term, multiplied by a, and hopefully you guys have figured it out, it's a trinomial because we have three terms. For this problem, to start off, we just take our 5 and we distribute it in. So we're actually distributing it in 3 different times into this problem. When you do that, you're going to get the result 5 times x to the 4th, or 5x to the 4th. 5 times a negative 3 squared, which is a negative 15x squared. And lastly, we have 5 times 9, which is a positive 45. Okay, our next problem that we have over here, it's kind of the same thing. A little bit more difficult. We have some constants, some variables. Working through this, I want you to just stop me real quick and give yourself a try. See if you can solve that on your own. And we'll come back together in just a minute. Alright, looking at it now, let's see what we did here. Still going to distribute. Instead, we're going to take this 2x to the 3rd. We're going to distribute it in 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So we have a single term monomial times 4 terms. Again, anything more than 3 we call a polynomial. So we have a monomial times a polynomial. Here, you're going to multiply your numbers out front. So really we have 2 times 1 to start. So that's just going to give us 2. And then we have x to the 3rd times x to the 3rd. Base stays the same. Add my exponents. 3 plus 3 is 6. So our first term is now 2x to the 6th. Our second term, we have 2 positives, so 2 times 3 is 6. We still have our base, x to the 3rd times x squared. Base stays the same. Add my exponents, and I have 6x to the 5th. Next, I have 2 times negative 2, which is a minus 4. We have x times x to the 3rd, which is going to leave us with x to the 4th. 3 plus 1 is 4. And lastly, we're going to multiply here. 5 times 2 is 10. And we finish with x to the 3rd, because the 5 does not have any variables. Alright, next thing that we're going to look at is multiplying using a table. And we've done some of this in class. We talked about the area problems. So we're going to set up a table. We're going to start by making a square, a rectangle. I'm going to do my best job here. So something similar to that, and then we're going to break it up. And each of these little squares or rectangles that we created, remember, are going to be held by multiplication. So we're going to use some multiplication throughout this. So the first one that we have, I'm just going to write on the top, we have 5x minus 1. So we have 5x here, and we have minus 1 over here. The second one that we have is 4x minus 3. And I'm going to write this down on the other side. So we have 4x, and get a little close there, 4x and minus 3. Okay. So since they're all held by multiplication, we're just going to multiply through. So we have 5x times 4x. 5 times 4 is going to give us 20. We have x times x, or x squared. So we have 20x squared in that first one. The second box, we have 4x times a negative 1, or that's going to give us a minus 4x. Next time I'm going to make sure I make my boxes a little bigger here. We have negative 3 times 5x, negative 3 times 5, minus 15x. And lastly, last box, you have negative 3 times negative 1, which is going to give us a positive 3. Alright, after we have that, we can write it all out. So if you want, you can write it all out. Or you can kind of put the terms together. We're going to write it out first, though. So we have 20 x squared minus 4x minus 15x. Let's get rid of that real quick. Didn't mean to get rid of all of it, so let's go again. So we have 20 x squared minus 4x minus 15x plus 3. And going through, we get our answer of 20x squared minus 19x. Move something real quick. There's that. 19x, and finish off with plus 3. And there you go. So we end up, when we take these two binomials, we multiply them together, we end up getting a trinomial. Alright. Third thing that we have here is going to be multiplying a polynomial vertically. So, to do that, we're going to look at this. We have the same problem, except for we're going to multiply vertical. So, remember vertical, we're going to go up and down. So with this, if I grab a color here, we got 5x, and we're going to multiply it by, we're going to grab that first term, we're going to grab the second one, so we have 4x minus 3 here. Close that down. The second one that we have to look at that first term again, so we have 5x, and that's minus 1. So, grab minus 1, and I'm going to rewrite what I have in the parentheses again, so 4x minus 3. And now I'm going to distribute into both of those. When you distribute into the top, 5x times 4x, 5x times 4x, we get a 20x squared. 5 times, doing that was that first one. The second one, 5x times negative 3, is going to give us a minus 15x. Okay. Our second one that we go through, we have negative 1 times 4x, so it's a minus 4x. And now I'm going to line them up so they're vertical. So since we're talking vertically, we're going to line them up. And then negative 1 times negative 3 is going to be this positive 3. So I have everything lined up. I have x squareds by themselves. I have x's with x's. I have my number with my number. So everything is set. Now I just need to add vertically. So we're going to use addition here. And when we add, there's nothing with this x squared, so I'd end up getting 20x squared. We have minus 15x minus 4x, again, minus 19x. And lastly, plus 3. So there's an example of how we're solving this, doing it vertically. Horizontally, we're going to see the same thing, same problem as what we had before. So I want to start the same exact way. Again, I'm taking this first term here and I'm multiplying it into both of those. So I have 5 times, and I'm going to write what I have here. I've got that 4x minus 3. But since we're going horizontal, we're going to go straight across. So I've got minus 1, and then I'm going to rewrite that 4x minus 3 again. So what this is called is double distributing. So I'm distributing 2 times, hence the word double. So we've got that. I'm going to take this 5, distribute it in. So that's my first one. Here I can see that I'm going to, I forgot the 5x on that. Something went wrong. So let's put a little x here. So I have 5x times 4x. I'm going to bring that in. I get this 20x squared. What have been getting in the last problems. So there's that. Going into the next one, I've got minus 15x. Now the tricky thing that I have to make sure of is I have to always distribute this as a negative 1 in. It's easy to just distribute 1 or make that first one a negative number. I have to actually make both of them. So I distribute in the negative 1. Negative 1 times 4x is negative 4x. Negative 1 times negative 3 is going to be a positive 3. Okay, again, combining our like terms, those two, we're going to get that same answer that we got before. So no matter how you go through these problems, you should always end up getting 20x squared minus 19x plus 3. And there you go. Next thing that we're going to look at, very similar to what we have here, but a couple problems that you can start trying to do on your own. One has a binomial times a binomial. The other you're distributing in a monomial. Again, this would be a good time to pause, try this on your own, see if you can get it before we go through it. Okay, going through both those, we can start with the first one. Again, I want to write it out. I'm going to choose to write it out going just our horizontal method by taking this 2x and distributing it in first, and then I'm going to take the negative 4 and do the same thing, distribute it in twice there. I just like the horizontal method. If you like the table method, you can go with that, or the vertical method. I'm not going to care on which you do. So here I'm going to start with the 2x. We got the 5x minus 1. Remember, whatever my second term is, I'm going to be writing that twice. So there's that one. In green here, I had the minus 4 that needed to be distributed to both those. And again, it's still the 5x minus 1. Okay, so I have both of them, so I need to make sure that I'm distributing through on both of these. Let's get that over there. So twice, 2x times 5x, 2 times 5 gives us 10. X times x is an x squared. Second one, 2x times negative 1 is a negative 2x. Over on the other side, doing the same thing. Again, remember, you must distribute this as a negative 4. Okay, you can't just make that first term negative and leave it the other one. So you got to distribute as a negative 4. So you have minus 20x. And we end up with a plus 4 here. So now, I'm going to combine the middle, and I get 10x squared, looks like minus 22x, plus 4. And that's what we're looking for on this problem. Hopefully you got that. Last one that we have here, single monomial times 3 terms trinomial, distributing in, making sure that we're doing everything to each part. And then again, just multiply your numbers out front. So 3 times 2 is 6. X times x squared is x to the 3rd. 3 times 5, 15. X times x, x squared. 3x times negative 6 is a minus 18x. And there you go. So if you have any questions, make sure you bring it back tomorrow. There's one last slide. There's a couple problems that I want you to try on your own before class tomorrow. So hopefully you get it. If not, bring those questions to class and we'll talk about them. And good luck on these next problems.